10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, row down. 3, 2, and 1. Just like me, the number one kaiju in this household.
Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today we're going over our top 10 favorite YMSF figures.
There's 10 of them?
Actually, yeah, there's more than 10. I only own 4, though, so this is going to be a really hard top 10 list to do.
Number 1. Number 2.
Actually, 10-9. I think that's probably the worst one.
3. Don't
The
judge.
most boring paint job that I had to do. This guy will have a... I might already be out, but doing sort of how-tos on those ones. Okay, for reals, though, we are doing our top 10 favorite SH MonsterArts figure. This is a redo of the list because that one's a few years old. There's been some new MonsterArts, and we've had quite a few people asking us to update this list.
Wait, I thought we were doing the top 5 worst.
Afterwards.
Oh, we're doing 2 videos?
Yeah.
God, you're
I got
so
you for
needy.
2 hours, so we're going to do it.
Psh. By the time you fix your machine, we got me here for 1 hour. Not my fault you wasted 1 hour fixing something.
Told you I did 15 minutes. It just became an hour.
That was like an hour ago.
Oh, 3D printing's hard. But anyways, number 10. We have the SH MonsterArts Godzilla 1974.
That's a Godzilla? I thought that was Mechagodzilla.
I realized I said Godzilla after. It's still technically, I'm not wrong. Because he was Godzilla at the beginning of the movie. And then he becomes
Give me a
Mechagodzilla.
paintbrush and some paint. I'll get this.
Yeah, we'll make it green. Just add some texture. I got some epoxy putty. It'll be wonderful.
Oh my god. Talking about destroying the value.
So, easily, one thing that I think was predominant on the previous list, still kind of to this day, is MonsterArts does a really phenomenal job with their mechas.
They do everything but the Godzilla great, for most part.
The Godzillas are good. There's a few on this list. But for the most part, it's generally what they give the mechas outside of a lot of the other characters is they usually give them accessories. So like for him, he at least had the chest beam laser, which was sweet. Granted, could use some more things. Like he doesn't come with
the finger lasers.
The finger missiles. Yeah. Or maybe something to replicate like his head spinning.
You know
like
what would have been
barrier.
What I can't wait for is the new Mechagodzilla from MonsterArts.
He's cool. I think he's, to me, he still seems a bit overpriced.
Oh, that's why we bought 2 of them, because we're going to hammer your and keep mine. Yeah, we got this.
But I have the MonsterArts collection, so shouldn't I keep mine?
No,
we make yours a statue because you like collecting statues.
Well, no, this is my first real MonsterArts Godzilla figure, so that's why it's got to be in pristine box. Yours, we're going to open, review, and hammer it, and then whatever's left you can keep.
You know, if I would think it'd get the views.
Seems like I'll customize it after.
Yeah. I was going to say, we did the Playmate stuff. We'll just do the same thing with just a better looking figure.
Right? And it cuts into the us hammering the SH MonsterArts Godzilla, and it's like, oh my god, we chipped it!
It's just one of those like little plastic like toddler hammers.
It's not breaking, guys. We don't know why.
Oh, it's the best figure ever, I guess. It is die-cast. The main reason why he's so low on this list in particular is that the way they did his articulation's terrifying. With the little plates to replicate the like vacuum hose look that Mechagodzilla has on his legs.
Sometimes it's a good idea, but it does not execute right.
Yeah, like you can see here for the knees, how it's shifting. That's one of the biggest issues I have with that. And there's a couple of things proportion-wise, but for a Mechagodzilla, it's easily one of my favorites. The only thing that, for me, beats it is the X Plus. And technically, my X Plus is a 75. It's not the 74.
Oh, really? Like, this is the best you can do to replicate the spin?
To be fair, I've been half tempted to put on Etsy, just getting some plastic sheets and making the barrier so you can sit it around them. That might be a thing. I'd have to figure it out, but it wouldn't be 3D printed. It would literally be just customizing sheets and painting them at that point.
Yep.
But anyways, number 9. So far, there seems to be a trend because it's a lot of Showas. But here we have the 62, which is my favorite of the Showa figures that came out.
What did that guy ever do to you, Steve?
Nothing. I like him. That's why he's on the list.
He should be higher.
Well, I like the suit, but I will admit it's not perfect. For starters, hold on a second. This is the YMSF 62 that I just recently got done painting. This is essentially how he should look. with the coloring. You can see like the eyebrows
That's
are a
what I was
little
looking
lighter.
at, like I don't.
He's got the chest is generally lighter. Same with the neck region, the knees specifically. This guy is mainly all the same colors all the time, which is fairly typical Monster Arts, but it could have used a little bit more attention to detail.
Could have used a little bit more love.
I think. And one of the things I've been slowly kind of getting more and more into thinking is I kind of want to customize them myself. Because I don't really ever plan on selling them, so I want to...
Yeah. Oh, if you're not going to sell them, at this point in time, you do what you want to them to appease you.
Yeah, so I kind of want to update them a little bit. Because the same with the eyes are technically a little bit off. But not bad. Like they're yellow. There should be more of a white.
Yeah.
But I think overall sculpt, they nailed this thing, though. Like, it's got the nice Muppet look from the front, but it's not too Muppety. It's got the nice side profile. It's got the elongated neck. The spines look really good. Like, outside of just the more lackluster paint job, easily still
Not
one of my
bad.
favorite Godzillas.
Yeah.
All right, so for number 8 comes from my literal least favorite Godzilla thing of all times.
I can't believe that
Worse
thing...
than Hanna-Barbera for me. Worse than Godzilla's Revenge. Worse than Son of Godzilla.
I can't believe this thing actually exists. Not the figure, but like where this figure comes from.
Because to me, like the anime, I loathe them. Like I watched them once. That's more than enough for me. Unless I'm really like my little brother's like, hey, I want to watch all the Godzilla movies. I'd go, all right, buckle up, get some popcorn.
Buckle up, buckaroos. It's gonna be fun.
But for a figure, this thing is great.
Oh, I love the color scheme on him.
Yeah, like it's got the right coloring from the anime.
Texture.
The detailing looks nice. He's even got like the maple leaf fins. The head sculpt is super solid on it. Like to me, I almost feel like he should actually be maybe higher on this list because he's even like a pretty hefty monster.
Oh, he is. Because I just picked him up before I picked the YMF ones, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, this guy weighs more than like 3 of the YMSFs that we were messing around with. But, granted, again, could maybe use a little bit more detailing in terms of the coloring anyways.
Yeah, they skimmed down a few spots here and there.
Yeah, it's kind of typical. Like, you'll, once we get to the 5 worst, you'll kind of catch where we're going there. But for a lot of the higher ones, most part, the paint job on them are pretty much near perfect.
Well, it's like Monster Art. You already know it's going to have great detail, great articulation. It pretty much falls down to how much they painted it and like how accurate it is to the movie or the show or whatever it falls down to.
Yeah, which this kind of has a saving grace that it already had a 3D model to begin with, so it's not hard to replicate the figure, which is still the weird thing about Monster Arts is I don't understand why like the coloring of like the 2019s and the sculpts are off, but eventually they should have had access to the models or at least the visuals, but they have them out early. And I know there's a whole thing of they only really got the trailers to look at and stuff. I understand. But still, like, it can be done. So for number 7, I think is actually my favorite Monster Arts in my collection currently.
Why
but
is this
I recognize
up here?
that he's not probably everyone's cup of tea, which is the Awakened Shin. Now, this is definitely an improvement over the original, which we love our Shin on this channel. Don't get us wrong.
This is an FU to God creature right here.
Well, remember, I forgot the thing. He made it.
That is true.
He was like, yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. Let's give him T-Rex arms. But for me, I think this is easily the best Shin Godzilla action figure we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Whoa. You don't like the NECA Awakened version? You're a monster.
Not even close.
A monster.
To be honest, the original X Plus, I still think this is better. Original X Plus. Now there's the gigantic, which not much is really touching that thing, I'll be honest.
Well, except the price.
Except the price, because it's cheaper. Like, you can get a car cheaper. Actually, a fairly solid car cheaper nowadays, because I think it goes for more like $2 to $3 now if you want to get an older one. This guy only run you about $400 nowadays. And a lot of that was because he was a web exclusive. But this is pretty much the first instance of there's nothing really for me to complain about. Like, the coloring's really good. It looks like how it should. Overall, the sculpt is also really nice. I think they nailed the mouth really well. Only thing I would say is, in terms of a toy, I don't touch this one. There's a reason. It's because I don't want the joints to wear out on the tail.
Yeah, buddy. Because even when you start moving it, it falls down.
It can. This one's definitely still very stiff, but I try not to play with it.
Oh God, look up some of the videos from this guy, and you'll see some people can't even get it to stand up anymore.
Yeah, like my other shit that we use for videos.
No, it's
like if you could get it there if you don't breathe on it.
Yep.
But this, I could say the coloring maybe could be a little bit better. Like the tail is maybe a little bit off, and there could maybe be some more black showings in some of the purple areas. Maybe a little bit more brighter highlights. Outside of that, it's pretty much a perfect shin for me.
Solid figure.
Number 6, SH MonsterArts Gigan from Godzilla Final Wars.
Which I'm very offended because he doesn't have a chainsaw for hands.
Yeah, I like the hook hands. That, and this is one of those figures I'm really terrified to touch. One of the reasons why it's here is because all these little bits are posable. And they're all super fragile. I'm honestly surprised at myself that I haven't broken this personally.
If it makes you feel better, Steve, I think when I bought it, I only paid $90 for it.
Yeah, I think it was about that, because you were like, hey, what's for Christmas? And I'm like, this is an option. I don't have this guy yet.
How much is he right now?
Because there's the reissue coming out, he dropped.
How much was he before the reissue?
You're probably looking at least over 2.
That's still not bad. Like,
Not
look
bad.
at how much Shin is.
Well, he's still like, I would say easy 150. Because that's how much the reissue's going for. But the reissue comes out with more stuff.
Yeah, so he'll probably fall below 150 for sure. Then.
Yeah, the only issue of mine is this arm's a little loose. Which is weird because, again, I don't really play with... Like, these guys don't get much attention. Like, the next time he'll come out of my display case is when the Final Wars Godzilla comes out. Until then, he'll hang out in there. But this is actually the first instance of there's nothing I would change about this.
Really?
I think in terms of like Gigan, it is pretty much damn near perfect. Maybe the head is a little off.
I was gonna say
it's a subtle thing. Like, to be honest, I think the beak maybe is a little too thin, and
Mr.
he's got a
Picky
couple
over
of weird gappage issues because of how articulate he is. So if you guys can see on the stomach area, there's a little bit of a gap there. But that's because this part can lift up to articulate it.
Which is weird.
So you won't break it, which I appreciate. But those issues tend to knock it down just a little bit. All right, so for number 5. I probably should have grabbed the display.
That's not a figure.
Now that I think about it.
That's a Squirtle doing
yeah, it's like hydro.
Yeah, hydro pump. That's Squirtle doing hydro pump. Yeah.
What this is the Gamera 95 from Guardian of the Universe. This is how I have them displayed currently, is in the UFO form, because my 2 and 3 are displayed normally. But out of the Gameras, this is easily the best one.
It's a Squirtle doing hydro pump. How is this in top 5?
Because he comes with the effects, so you can make him look like he's doing the hydro pump. And in terms of sculpt, if you have everything on this guy, again, looks pretty much perfect.
I was going to say, where's his head at, Steve?
It's inside his body. See?
It's
in there somewhere.
I'll tell you what that looks like, but it's a PG-13 channel.
Giggity. The only main issue I have with this is I think he could have came with more stuff. For instance, he doesn't have a fireball.
Well,
you get Flying Saucer, but it's like you get Flying Saucer, or he just stands under shelf.
And how many of the other ones have the fireball? See, you already got one fireball. What more you want?
But it doesn't fit in his mouth because his head's gigantic compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, if you're paying this much money for these figures, it better be correct.
Fireballs would be great. And that was 96 came with a fireball. 98 or 99 has the flaming fist.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't need it. This, I think, could have used it. Also, still waiting on any of the other monsters from the Gamera Heisei films, but I digress. Number 4 is Arnes' favorites. We have some bugs.
How much did it cost, Steve?
We got Batra Larva and the Mothra Larva set.
How much did it cost?
I'm going to say $600 so you don't knock it off the shelf. I don't think it's that high, but you're
disgusting.
You're looking at a couple hundred to get a hold of these guys nowadays. And then the issue is there's you can get them like this with the larva, because I already had both of the adults individually.
Yeah.
Or if you get the special colors, you can get the larva and Batra. But then you have to get the Mothra with the larva, and they're all about the same price now.
You know how Minya was created?
From an egg? Mothra's like, no, senpai. It's too big. But again, reason why they're here is they are pretty much near perfect.
Are they actually like that much difference in their size in a movie?
Yeah, Batra's like the larva of Batra is literally the same height as Godzilla.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, when they're fighting underwater and stuff, like they look like
I don't.
giant face to face.
I'll have to go back and watch some of these movies. I don't honestly remember him being that big.
The only issue with this set is mainly just
Oh, does that one come with the string attack?
yeah, he does the string attack. Batra didn't come with the beam. And then Mothra here, like, it's cool that it can do the wiggle while you're moving it. But outside of that, there isn't really, like, in terms of MonsterArts, like, your main value is in the Batra.
Yeah.
And as a set, it's sweet, but it's, like, going from one figure to the other, it's kind of the same problem with, like, the Rodin and Mothra from the 2019s.
Yeah.
One's clearly better than the other. Not as clear with that set, but this one more so.
It is kind of cool, though, they can do that.
And I really like that the Omu, when that came out, could also do the same thing. Like, companies are really getting that worm kind of motion down. Batra, on the other hand, just,
You don't need much. His detail is great.
it sort of wiggles.
Yeah.
Alright, so for number 3, it's fairly interchangeable. It's just this one's the one that is not in a box. But this is the Heavy Arms Kiryu. This could also be the regular Kiryu, or if you have the final act version.
I was about to say, this list has a lot of Godzilla sidekicks and not a lot of Godzillas.
Yeah, because a lot of the Godzillas, like, personally, could have came with extra things. Or, again, kind of like the same problem with that 62.
Yeah.
Is they maybe could have had a little bit more color variety. Like, a lot of the 2019s. Great, like the 2019 Godzilla, great figure. Like, Legendaries, all great figures, but little things here that are kind of keep them back. While, for some odd reason, the other monsters tend to give you everything
with them, but...
or at least enough stuff to make them worthwhile. Like, for instance, this guy comes with an ass ton of things. You get his, like, spinning blades, you get all the arm attachments, his backpack. You don't get a beam, but, like, the chest piece here opens up.
How much does he cost, though?
Each Kiryu, you're looking at a few $100.
No, when it first came out.
Oh, and they first, I think I picked mine up for, like, $125.
See, that's not bad for how much he comes with, though, so...
Yeah, like, at the time, these were, like, some of the most accessoried figures.
Yeah.
And now, like, we did the video, like, going over the prices, but he was definitely, like, the Kiryu was on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He gets to be a pricey boy. Granted, kind of like the guy again, they are fairly fragile, though. Especially with some of the versions with the backpacks, you have to remove the spines and stuff in order to get them on. So there's a lot. And then getting the cables and the elbows and stuff can be a little bit terrifying. As you guys just saw there.
Wow. Really?
Okay, so I'm missing a piece. We'll find it here.
Don't move.
I'm missing the middle plastic piece that goes in here. It's a little loose there. Again, always, like, these aren't really meant to be toys. You can play with them, but they're not toys, which is a weird thing to say.
I am not moving my chair.
Then he's also got some die-cast, which is great. But other than that, I think that next two are pretty much the epitome of perfect. Alright, so for number 2, Arnes was fighting me.
It's the greatest figure of all time. And when I was at the convention, I saw one for $110, and I should have bought it, and I didn't. I kind of regret it.
You should have, because I think he's actually worth more than that.
Yeah, I seen it on eBay. $110. That guy had brand new in a box in convention. I should have bought it.
Yeah, this guy is one of the most perfect MonsterArts figures to have come out. Because he comes with the little middle thing for the beams if you guys get them. He can shoot the missiles. He comes with a little city display base to hold all your accessories up. Like, this thing's great. Outside of it, can't break apart into the vehicles. Or came with versions of those vehicles.
Now
I'm a little surprised MonsterArts just hasn't done that.
I was going to say, I am actually kind of surprised I haven't done that, because that's a steal right there.
Yeah, just like a Mogira effect
I'll buy
set.
it.
And here's the the ship and the tank that I forget their names off the top of my head. And then he's also got die-cast pieces. And he stands really well. I just need to not touch things anymore. I see where this one went.
Just say, no movie chair.
But this you could pop these off because you could put the wings in.
Yeah.
Wings, so you can fly around. Same with there's an extra head accessory too, so you have his head going up. Problem is
I'm just gonna hold this so Steve doesn't break while he talks.
With that figure, the way he's standing, I'm pretty sure that's how he's standing in everybody's collection. He's posable, but not really.
Yeah, you don't get much. Oh no, look, you can move the legs this far.
For the most part, it's mainly the arms is where you get a lot of play. The head you can rotate a bit. But Megaera the movie didn't really move much either.
No.
So again, it's a very
He
flew. But it's a very fitting figure for a representation of that suit, which I think is great. But number one still is probably
Did a notch.
not probably the best MonsterArts they put out. And number one, SH MonsterArts Burning Godzilla. This is the original release, which I still prefer over the one with the smoke effect, even though this one's cheaper to get a hold of nowadays.
That is sad, by the way.
Because I really don't like the glossy effect. Now, what you can do is you can buy the smoke one, spray it with some matte finish,
And boom.
and boom, you got pretty much the same toy. But for me, the paint job is phenomenal. The coloring for the kaiju here also
Is the tail and dorsal spines
is
accurate?
really great. They are accurate. So it's just the center spines have the
Yeah.
coloring, but the rest of the tail has the white. The translucent plastic works really well. And it's one of those, it's actually probably the only Godzilla that's essentially, I don't really have anything to say about the coloring.
No, it's, like you said, it's accurate to the movie. So it's, when you're buying this figure, that's what you're looking for.
And he's super duper posable.
What did he
which
come
is
with?
Always a bonus. This one in particular came with some vehicles. No beam. That's why you had to buy a Rodan. You had to buy a Rodan to get his
How
beam.
much was he when he came out?
Oh, less than 100.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, I'm trying to, like, I paid a little bit more for him because I got into the game a little later. My first figure when it first came out was Biolante, and then a lot of these I kind of went back to. I think I paid 100 for him at a shop.
That's not bad then.
And it was kind of the same thing with the 2000 Godzilla when that came out. I seen it was at the shop, and I was going to skip on it until I seen how much it was starting to go for online, and then I bought it.
And shut up and take my money.
And it's like, here, you can have 100 for that too, I guess. So that's pretty much it for this list. Again, I'd say easily the most solid MonsterArts ever released. Not my personal favorite, because that would be the Shin.
Yeah.
But just in terms of a figure, like if you wanted to buy the
Accuracy
best
and-
one, I think this is it. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. We'll have the worst video coming out here next week.
Yeah.
As of this recording, we're going to try to keep these videos once a week. Well, top 10 videos, but just in this time slot, they'll come out every week.
We haven't figured it out 100% yet, but we'll see how it works out.
Well, we'll have it figured out by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
But anyways, what's your guys' favorite MonsterArts? Let us know in the comment section below. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button. Subscribe, become a Ranger today. To be honest, it could have been either. I wouldn't have really been that upset when I picked Megaera. We also got a Patreon, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook.
You know what? I'll just throw this out there. Rodan.
You're really not going to like the next list. In Facebook, if you guys like keep up with the name of the channel doing it, we greatly appreciate it. Also have an Etsy shop. You guys like to pick up some accessories for your guys' MonsterArts figures. We have some more. I don't know if it'll be up by the time this video comes out, but in the near future, there will be an 89 beam for your Heisei figures, and specifically the 89 MonsterArts will be up over there. And see you guys next video.
Bye-bye.